Very good morning to one and all. And today we are going to discuss about drama. So, what is the origin of drama? Initially, drama was a thing which took place in Athens. So, they have been celebrating this drama as festival of Dionysus. So, Dionysus is what a festival which took place in Athens over 5 days in March or April. So during the first day, there will be a procession. So procession is nothing but people will be gathered in groups and they will be honoring a god or whatever it may be. So that is called as procession. So honoring Dionysus. So Dionysus is nothing but here they are mentioning it as a god. Okay, so all the citizens will be participating, and during this festival, first day will be the procession, and the second day there will be a choral song will be performed, and the last 3 days of the festival is where the drama took place. So the actors will be performing in three tragedies. One is satire, one is heroic tragedy, and another one is comedy. So here we are we have to notice that we have two types of tragedies. One is we have two types of drama. One is tragedy, and another one is comedy. So here drama is a genre. So it's a genre. Okay, it's genre of literature. So a French word meaning type or category. So it's a what? Again a French word. Drama is a French word which means a type or category. So in theatre, genre denotes the category into which a play falls. For example, so you'll be having so many types of dramas like tragedy, comedy, tragic comedy, farce, melodrama, or number of others. Okay. So we have nearly 30 types of dramas, and I'm just going to explain you um, line by line. So here, first one is your comedy. That's nothing but a light and amusing play with a happy ending. So always your comedy will be having a what? Happy ending. Next is your fantasy. Fantasy is nothing but which we cannot believe. So we have to make or believe a play that could not possibly exist. So for example, so in our smaller ages, we might have come across some fantasy novels or fantasy movies like Rapunzel and Dwarfs. Yes, so these are all the what fantasy types of drama, which we cannot believe. So next is your farce. Farce is nothing but in Tamil we say it as Kelikutus, or which is highly a comic one, light-hearted drama, usually involving stock situations and characters based on the far-fetched humorous situations. So yeah, it's like what a totally a typical comedy. Farce is nothing but a typical comedy, which took in those days, in olden days, it will be taking place in the street sides. So folkplay again, it's like a word legends. So folkplay is nothing but it totally speaks about folk legends and heroes like Robin Hood, Saint George, and Dragon, etc. So folkplay is nothing but with it speaks about a particular legend. Okay. So next is your melodrama. Again, it's also a type of a comedy, a dramatic form that exaggerates emotion, emphasizes plot or action at the expense of characterization. So here, so it's totally a dramatic one, melodrama, and it exaggerates, it insists more of your emotion as well as it emphasizes plot. So what is plot? So when a thing is happening in the scene one, the same thing will be continuing in the scene two and the scene three and scene four. So that is called as your plot or action at the expense of characterization. Okay. The next is your miracle and mystery plays. So which depicts stories about what mythology, Christ, saint, or whatever it may be. Mythology carries all the religious beliefs. Okay. So next is your morality play, which always have a moral virtues or whatever it may be in the end. So here, eighth one is your drama. It's nothing but a play that usually tells a story. Drama is nothing but a play which usually tells a story involving both conflict, emotion, and also a happy ending. Might be a happy ending through action and dialogue. So drama is nothing without an action or dialogue. So next is your Dramatic irony. So this is a very important aspects in your drama, which means that the situation in the drama is well understood by the audience, though by the characters in the play. So irony is nothing but expression of one's meaning, okay, by using a language or whatever it may be. So irony, okay. Next is your dramatis of characters, list of characters in a play. So dramatis is nothing but the person who are acting in the drama. So they are called as characters in a play. Next is your falling action. Falling action also plays a very important role in drama. The part in the play. So the part in the play which occurs after the climax of the plot. So yes, before the conflict is resolved. The core of the drama is called as your falling action. Okay, so next is your fourth wall, the imaginary divide that separates the audience from the performance space. So it is nothing but a fourth wall which separates the audience and the performance space. Okay, so that is called as your fourth wall. Nothing but the audience will be seated and the stage will be so far. The space difference between the audience and the this one is called as your fourth one. Next one is your monologue. Monologue is nothing but the a speech which is uttered by one single person. So that is called as your monologue. So 21 is your screenplay. Screenplay is nothing but a script, a written work. Okay. So for a TV or film or even for drama. So without a screenplay, a drama can never take place. The next is your script. Script is again a note written with words, stage directions, cast of characters, etc. So what is here? Cast of characters is nothing but other than the protagonist, the characters. Okay. So next is your set flat. So here nothing but the backdrop, the where the drama takes place. Settings. So here the settings represent your time, place, and action of the play where it takes place. So setting is nothing but the place where drama is happening. So next is your sound effects. So drama with sound effects, with audio effects, music, speech. So everything is important in a drama. So that makes the main core of the drama. So next is your stage directions. So where to stand, where to just move away, where to play, blocking, dialect. Dialect is nothing but the language, the accent used, lighting, everything comes under your stage directions. And stage manager, a person responsible for the properties used in the drama. Okay, and stereotyping. Stereotyping is nothing but a character, an important character which can be easily recognized. So we can easily recognize a protagonist. Okay, so in a drama, a protagonist would be easily recognized, and also a villain. So these are all called what stereotyping. Yes, and next is your suspense. So suspense, what it feels a total excitement of a drama. So suspense is very important. So it describes the height of a play. The next is your theme. So theme is also a very real subject of the drama. So without a theme and without suspense, no drama has been performed. Okay. So here I'm just going to tell you about the important drama terms. So if you take an example of a drama, so these are the important terms which you should know. The very first one is your character. Character is nothing but a person or an animal or whatever it may be that takes place in the action of a literary work. So it may be a protagonist, it may be a villain or whatever it may be, that is called as your character. Next is your cast of characters. So you have a difference between a character and a cast of character. Character, it might be an important person in a drama. Cast of characters, other persons, side characters. You can say that as side characters also. So cast of characters in Tamil, we used to say it as Nadigargal. Yes. Next comes your setting. And here, setting is nothing but the time and place of the action. The setting of the story often helps to create a particular mood or feeling. So, for example, if you take King Lear, in that King Lear drama, you have a very important space for King Lear. So the settings, all everything is based of a king. Okay. So next comes your dialogue. Dialogue, obviously in drama The conversation of characters in a literary work plays a very significant role. So in fiction also, dialogue is typically enclosed within quotation marks. So fiction, drama is completely different from fiction. Though in a drama also, dialogues plays a very important role as well as in fiction. So in plays. So here in plays is nothing but your drama. Character speech is preceded by their names. So yes, so we they have different plays for their names in drama. Okay. Next is your conflict. Conflict is nothing but a struggle between the opposing forces in a story or play. So any see, if you take an example, if you just read a book, there will be a struggle between two sources. Yes. So that is called as your conflict. So next is your plot. Plot is nothing but the sequence of events. So here what they say is that the first event will cause the second and the second will cause the third. So this is called as your plot. Okay. Next is your exposition. So here is what exposition is nothing but an introduction. It is a part of work that introduces the characters, settings and basic situation of the drama. Okay. Next is your rising action. Rising action is also a part of the plot that begins to occur as soon as the conflict is introduced. So when the story starts moving, you'll automatically will find a rising action. Okay. So next comes your falling action, the action that typically follows the climax. So climax is not, according to drama, climax is not the end. Okay, a turning point is called as a climax. So here falling action is what typically which follows the climax. Okay, and reveals the result. So probably see when we are young, so we used to watch more movies, yes, and while watching the movie itself, we'll come to a conclusion. So this is going to happen. A happy ending is going to happen. A sad ending is going to happen. We come to a conclusion. So that is called as your falling action. Next is your climax. So here is what a greatest emotional intensity, interest, or suspense in the plot of a narrative or turning point. So see how a story is just moved with a turning point. So completely what we think will never happen. So completely the story will be changed because of some turning point. So that is called as your climax. And the last one is your resolution, the part of the plot that concludes the falling action by revealing or suggesting the outcome of the conflict. So where your conflict is over now, so that is called as your resolution. So these are the very important terms, dramatic terms you should remember: character, cast of characters, setting, dialogue, conflict, plot, exposition, rising action, falling action, climax, and resolution. So yes, here comedy and tragedy. We have two types of comedy and tragedy. So tragedy can be divided into three types: revenge comedy, historical tragedy. Tragedy can be divided into three types: revenge tragedy, historical tragedy, heroic tragedy. So revenge tragedy is nothing but your Wuthering Heights. You can take example of Wuthering Heights. So here you find a person, Heathcliff. So who will be taking a revenge on both the families. Yes, so this is called as your revenge tragedy. Historical tragedy, you can take an example of Hitler. He's the best example of historical tragedy. So yesterday we were discussing something about Hitler and his Jews, Hitler and Jews we were discussing. So that is the best example of historical tragedy. Next is your heroic tragedy. Heroic tragedy is nothing but, see, when a very ordinary person marry a princess, so that becomes your heroic tragedy. When ordinary person marry a princess, or when your ordinary women marry a king, so that becomes your heroic tragedy, but the end will be happy. Yes, so that will be your heroic tragedy. So comedy, everything is comedy. Comedy is nothing but pure comedy. You have so many categories: tragic comedy, comedy of humor, comedy of manners, sentimental comedy, modern problem play. So everything will have a happy ending. So that is your comedy. Yes.